You know her as Penny from Penny and Stocking.
Stocking.
You're Stocking. Okay, see? That's how much of a regular she is.
You're a stalker?
Well, which one you got? Yeah, green?
It's a green. Yes. Hello. Yes. Hello.
And we have green, yeah, red on there. Okay.
I like it.
All right. Monica Rial, let's give her a round of applause. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go.
This is awesome. This is the first time I've had like a nighttime panel, and it's cool because like we could literally play a game of patty cake. There's so few people in here. It's awesome. Like, woohoo! Everybody will get their questions answered. So you guys, I'm Monica, I'm a voice actor. Yeah. My hair is purple and blue. Okay, I should be serious. I've been doing this for almost 18 years. No, I have been doing this for 18 years, almost 20 years. I work for Sentai Filmworks. I also work for Funimation. I work for, I've done some work for Bang Zoom. I do a lot of video game work, a lot of anime stuff. Yeah.
Apparently I'm moderating this panel.
Yay!
I'm sure some people in this panel don't want to see my face.
So, yeah, and so on this panel, are you DJ animated or?
I'm Jose's fine.
Okay, Jose.
Or DJ animated, whatever you want to remember. Animated, Jose, either way is fine with me.
I love it. Jose.
Yes.
Jose's a friend.
Who is he?
He's the DJ. You came to the party last night. He was the DJ.
Is he the one who hit me in the face?
No, that would be my fiance.
Okay.
Yes. That's
Unfortunately,
wrong.
he played baseball.
That was
so
not
he's-
appreciated. I think I deserve to slap him.
Yeah, yeah. Alright, I guess we'll just open it up to questions. So if you guys want to go over to the microphone or if you just want to yell at me, either way is fine. Hi! That works too!
Were you in the Orange High School Host Club? Because you did the laugh of the woman who rolls up in the thing.
That is me. I played Renge and I also
There we
wrote the show. I cheated. I wrote it so I knew exactly what character I wanted to be, and then I
Wait,
went
you
and
wrote
found
the show?
Oh, I adapted it. I didn't write. Of course, the Japanese creators wrote it. I adapted it into English, but
You did an awesome job.
well, thank you.
Translated it, or?
No, there's translators. So, like, basically how it goes is you have translators. We get the show from Japan. They translate it into English, but then because we don't manipulate the video in any way, the translation doesn't fit into the mouth flaps because Japanese and English are like apples and oranges, like totally different. So we have to adjust the translation to make it fit the flaps, and then also put like characterization back in, because if you guys have ever seen like a real translation, they're pretty flat, kind of Yoda-like. So we have to add all that conversational quality back in. So that's what I did. And it depends on the show. Sometimes you get to have a little more, they're a little more liberal with it. They're like, yeah, make this good for a Western audience. So like you put your spin on it. And then other times they want you to stick as close to translation as possible. But yeah, I'm actually doing that while I'm here. I can't tell you what show because I just started. But as I was leaving on Thursday, my boss was like, so I got a script for you. And I'm like, hey, I thought I told you I needed this week. Oh, you forgot. Okay. I will write a script while I'm here. So right after this panel, I have to like skedaddle and run to my hotel room so that I can finish writing my script.
Same thing happened last night.
Yeah, same thing last night. As soon as the party was over, I was like, all right, you guys have fun. I gotta go work.
Boring.
It's what I do for anime, y'all.
What
Give up my
characters
life
have you
for
been?
anime.
Can you tell? Can you say the characters you've been? And what
How many
anime?
characters I've been?
Yeah.
I think right now, if you look at Anime News Network, they have like an encyclopedia where they calculate everybody, and I think I'm at like 480 shows, not characters. I don't even know how many characters I'm like, because there's some shows where I played like in Negima I play 3 characters. In One Piece, I'm 3 characters. So there's shows where I played more than one. So I don't even know how many characters I've played.
Ballpark?
Probably. I'd probably say a good solid 600.
Do you know who plays with the what's it called, the twins from the Orange High School Host Club?
Yeah, Todd Haberkorn and Greg Ayers.
Because one of their voices is also from Clannad.
That would probably be Greg. Yes, because that was done at Sentai. So Greg Ayers, he's awesome. He's really cool. He's my friend. We've been friends for a long time. Who has a question?
Am I your friend?
Yes.
Yay.
Yes, in the blue. Yeah.
One of my favorite animes that you've done is Penny Saki. I told you when you did the autograph. One of my gateway drug anime Still one of my favorites. It was very different, I'd assume, from like a lot of your other roles you've done in the past. What are some other interesting roles you've done? Because I'm assuming before that you never really were required to swear as much as you did with that.
Yeah, with my voice being the way it is, I don't usually get to play the characters that swear. So that was fun and new. Gosh, characters that are against the grain for me. Michiko in Michiko and Hachin, if anybody saw that on Cartoon Network.
I played Michiko and was not Hachin, even though everybody thought I was Hachin, I was Michiko.
And then, let's see what else. In My Hero Academia, I play Suyu Asui, and the voice sounds like this because she's a frog girl. And so that's a lot of fun, too. And then, what are some other ones? Oh, Mayreen from Black Butler, getting your toe flat.
I would not have known that, but Mayreen.
You what?
Ghost stories, right?
Yes, and Ghost Stories, but Ghost Stories is kind of just my natural voice and a lot of love for Jesus. It's Easter weekend, so that's good. Another one that's actually kind of different, we have a cosplayer here, is Mei Misaki. When I got to play Mei, it was really, really cool because she's so calm. Everything is just so like this. I never get to do that. I'm always the bouncy, fluffy characters because they're like, Monica's crazy. Let her be the crazy person. Yeah.
Tusia, my favorite new animes now. I would like doing Froppy, Tusia, and I don't know if it's spin-off of that series. She's the true hero of the show.
Oh, Suyu in My Hero?
Yeah.
We just started season 2, actually. Not to be a big commercial, but if you go to Funimation.com, we have a simuldub streaming service, and so it just started in Japan, and it airs simultaneously in Japan and the United States on Funimation.com, and it started on April 1st. So we just started dubbing it. It's been awesome. They're in the middle of these games where they're challenging one another, and it's been super cool. Right now I haven't had a lot to say, except for Rivet, which I do a lot.
Was that the script, or did he put it in?
In the script, she always says "kero," which is the Japanese, onomatopoeia for ribbit.
ribbit,
yeah.
yeah.
So she does "kero." The problem is that the Japanese don't care as much about flaps. So a lot of times you'll notice she says "kero" and her mouth is closed, which they can get away with in Japan. But if I did that, everybody would be like, "Her mouth is closed. How dare she speak?" So we've done a lot of just kind of frog-like noises, like. So,
Okay, with that, then,
Yes.
did you have to study frog noises?
I didn't. It wasn't so much studying frog noises as much as I was getting behind a microphone and going, what can I do with my voice to make it sound like a frog?
Okay.
So, and luckily Colleen, the director, Colleen Finkenbeard is my best friend. So she's like, all right, so make some frog noises. I'm like, okay, hold on. And so I'm getting below the microphone, getting water in my mouth, like, does that sound frog-like? She's like, no. So we'd have to keep doing stuff like that. So you can't, that's one thing I tell aspiring voice actors, you can't be afraid to look like an idiot because you will repeatedly. But I love her, she's great. Do you want to pick somebody?
Questions listed, young lady again.
Okay, the one who got hit in the face. What's it called? So you know how Black Butler is a continuing with like Book of Circus, Book of Murder? Are you guys gonna dub that?
Yes, those are already out.
Those are already out? I've
Yeah,
been looking for
Book
them,
of
I can't find them.
Circus and Book of Murder are already out.
Dub?
What
Yeah.
about Book of Atlantic?
That is
Book of
coming out
Atlantic.
soon.
Yes!
Dun.
I think I'm allowed to say that. If not, I didn't say that. You're all liars. But yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was doing some.
What's up, bro?
Oh my God, you guys. Oh my God, you guys. Okay, so there's a lot of really great anime out there, and there's a lot of really crap-tacular anime out there. Let's be real, right? Everybody's got their favorites, though, so you don't ever want to be like, oh, this show is awful, because there's going to be that one person that's like, I love that show. Saga of Tanya the Evil is so good. And now you guys might not have the same ideas of what you think is good comparatively. But what I love about Saga of Tanya the Evil, you start out, you watch the first episode, and you're like, okay, this is kind of cool. It's like a military type anime. This seems kind of fun, whatever. And a little girl, I don't really get that. Then you watch episode 2, and you're like, holy crap, what is going on with this show? And then you watch episode 3, and you're like, wow, this is a trip. I need to watch episode 4. And then you watch episode 4, and it's like constant, right? And so for me, I'm...
Don't worry about it. Don't worry. We got it. Keep going. Keep talking. I got it. Yep. Don't worry about it. Don't worry. Don't worry about it. I got it.
Are you sure? Sorry,
Monica ruins
I'm a klutz. Without even knowing it. Okay, so Tiny the Evil. So basically, for me, I'm a huge history buff. Like, I love history anyway. So it's been super, super awesome because you got all this intrigue, all this espionage, all these things going on, and it's all within the realm of history. So it's super, super cool. I also like that even though there's a lot of action in the show, there are also like full scenes where it's just two people sitting at a table talking. And you have to pay attention to the scene. And I know some people will be like, oh, it's so boring, all they do is talk. And I'm like, if you listen to them talk, it's so interesting, and what they're saying is so cool, and they're putting all the pieces together. There's some scenes that I've had with J. Michael Tatum in that show that are just amazing. Like, he's so good, and that's one of my new favorites, man. That's a really great show, and I hope that you all get to see it, because it's rad. Yes?
One of my personal favorite roles was when you did Nyamo and Azumagadayo.
Oh my god, thank you. I haven't heard her name in forever.
But personally, the scene that makes me laugh out loud the most is the only way I can describe it is the drunken sex ed scene. What was going through your head recording that?
That whole show is interesting because ADV got a show called Azumagadayo, and it's about a bunch of crazy little girls, right? So, given my proclivity to play little girls, I thought, oh, okay, I'm gonna end up playing some crazy little girl, it'll be great. They cast me as the like straight man, the older PE teacher, and I was like, whoa, this is something I've never done before. So it was super cool, and working with Lucy Christian, who plays Hugh Cowdy, was super fun. But that scene in particular was hilarious. So if you haven't seen Azumanga, it's not really spoiling anything. There's a bunch of kids, and these two teachers. There's a crazy one and there's a sane one, and I'm the sane one. And so they're out on a holiday, and so the one teacher is drinking, and in order to save the children from this other teacher, the good teacher decides to drink all the alcohol to keep the other teacher from telling them horrible things, and then she ends up telling them all horrible things, which is awesome because you don't expect it. And that is one of my favorite cuts in anime, when you don't hear what she's saying, but it cuts to all their faces, just like, I love that.
My favorite part is when the 11-year-old is asking her, can you tell me what that meant?
Yeah. Can you tell me what that meant one more time? No, I cannot. But yeah, that was super, super fun. I loved Nyamo. Yeah.
I was wondering what it was like to work with J. Michael Tatum.
I love working with Tatum. Tatum is one of my oldest friends. Like, we used to actually be kind of like neighbors. We got him and his boyfriend Brandon to move into our apartment complex a while back, and it was awesome because I would like bake cupcakes and leave him at his house, and then we'd go to dinner, and then we'd have nights where we'd just hang out and drink wine, and it was awesome. And then we bought a house, which is cool, but we bought a house, and so we didn't live right around the corner anymore, and then they moved into like downtown, which is, I feel so bad.
You destroyed the stage.
I know. It would have been better for me to just pee on it.
This is my stage.
It's less sticky. At least I hope so. Anyway, I absolutely adore him and Brandon. We just don't get to hang out as often, but we still see each other at the studio all the time, and we get to work together, which is rad. Yes.
So I have two questions.
Yes.
One, can you come to my house? I had cupcakes. And two, you know that animes are like basically like one step away from being like hentai?
Yeah, there's a lot of them.
Have you ever voiced any of those?
Oh God, yes.
Oh God, which one?
I'm kind of that girl at Funimation because, okay, we're in Funimation, we're in Dallas, Texas, and it's part of the Bible Belt. So what that means is people tend to be a little more conservative, right? We also have a lot of people who are voice actors who also, who also do, thanks you guys, sorry I had to clean up after me, so there's a lot of people who are teachers or principals or police officers during the day, and then they voice act, when they have their free time. So when shows come around like that, people don't always want to put their real name on it, And it's not because, you know, they just want to be somebody else. It's literally like, hey, I'm a principal for an elementary school, and I don't want my children to find out that I'm in the show. Or my children's parents to find out. So, you know, a lot of people use different names or whatever. I don't care. Like, the way I tell people is I'm like, those are not my boobs. They're animated. If my voice comes out of that face, then, you know, whatever. So yeah, I've done shows like, oh gosh, I was Haruko in Mock and Key,
Have you seen
which
Girls
had a
Mama?
plot, and then it kind of went into Booby Land. I was Shizuka in High School of the Dead, which that whole show wasn't like that, but she sure was.
Wait, they ended at 13 episodes, right?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know. There should be more of that one.
Yeah, it ended in like a cliffhanger kind of.
Right. The most recent one is a show called Valkyrie Drive Mermaid, which I was very sad because there were no mermaids.
Have you ever heard of the show Girls Bravo?
I've heard of it.
That's the #1 show that's like that I saw. That's like literally like 1 millisecond step away from being a porno.
There's a few. There's a few. Then we don't get too crazy in Dallas. Every once in a while you get a show and you're like, oh. Okay, yeah, I'll do that, whatever. Who else?
Your character.
May.
No one compliment you first. Okay, I'm gonna say you sound like Ruby Rose from Ruby. Okay.
Oh, hey, I don't know who that is, but thank you.
Really? We'll say this.
I was thinking.
Did you know? Okay, watch the show. It's great.
Okay, awesome.
But that's another one. Would you ever go and try and get in touch with Rooster Teeth to see if you can actually get a job? At least in this case, voice actor role for one of the original series.
I know Rooster Teeth is in Austin, and I'm in Dallas, so I don't know if that's an issue. But yeah, I'm always up for more work. I'm certainly not going to turn it down. I think it might just be a matter of not being in the right place at the right time, and I'm really busy in Dallas, like not just with the anime, I do a lot of commercial stuff as well. But yeah, if I ever get the opportunity to audition, I will certainly do that. If you guys email Rooster Teeth and tell them, send Monica an audition.
I mean, Vic did one for them.
Who?
Vic Mignogna.
Oh yeah.
Pro.
Oh yeah. Oh, I'm gonna find them.
All right.
I'm sorry, Sonic.
Yes. How do you like your voice acting role at Funimation, and how do you compare Funimation to Sentai Filmworks?
I mean, I love working at Funimation. It's super cool. They keep me really, really, really busy. Maybe just a little too busy, but it's okay. I'll still live busy. They're just trying to kill us all, but it's okay. We'll survive. And then Sentai is great. Sentai actually, I think a lot of people know by now that Sentai is pretty much just ADV under a new name. And ADV is where I started. So it's kind of like going home and seeing your family or old friends that, you know, you worked with way back in the day where you started. That's where I learned how to voice act. So it's kind of, I'll always have a place in my heart for them, but Funimation is like my mega home now.
What does ADD stand for?
Nobody knows.
Actually, no, it actually stands for AD Vision.
It's AD Vision, but then there was like another little section that nobody knows what the AD stands for.
Yeah, it's weird.
I'm thinking attention deficit disorder.
I do have that, so that would be fitting.
Yes, you do. All right, gentlemen in black.
One, are you going to finish, or are they going to finish dubbing Valkyrie Mermaid? Because we only got like 2 episodes on Funimation right now.
Oh yeah, we've already dubbed the whole thing. What they do is they put 2 episodes up until the disc comes out to be like, here's a little teaser. You guys want to see more? Buy the disc.
Teaser.
Yeah, they're like, if you want to see more, you have to buy the disc. Once the discs come out, then it'll be on Funimation.com as well. They just don't want to put it on Funimation.com because then nobody will buy the disc.
I can get that.
Yeah.
Also, one other was, who do you think is your most like underappreciated character? Like the best character
Out of 1,000.
that most people just don't know about, but they're just like the best character, and everyone should go find that character now and watch it.
There's a show, whenever anybody asks me, like, what's the most underrated anime that you've ever been a part of? There's a show called Kurao, Phantom Memory, and that show is beautiful. And the character of Kurao is this tortured soul who's absolutely awesome. And so I tell people all the time, like, go check that one out. And I've had several people that come back and go, oh my god, that was so good. I'm like, I know, right? Michiko and Hachin was one of those. Like, before it got put on Toonami, it got stuck in a licensing circle of doom, basically. where the Japanese, somebody licensed it and they kind of sat on it for 3 years, and then finally Funimation was like, hey, we want that. And they're like, okay, sweet, but now it's 3 years old and nobody wants to see it. So luckily it got on Toonami, and then it got an audience, but that was another one that I would tell people, like, go watch Michiko and Haunted. I'm trying to think of, like, this season, like, what's the most underrated of the season, but there's so many, they all just blend together.
All right, Chewbacca.
I am not Chewbacca. I'm actually a Jawa.
Jawa.
I'm not,
There you go.
not masculine. So,
And I'm a Star Wars guy. I should have known this.
But what you got? So since you do so many voices, I actually had to look up, like, I just Wikipedia you to see what animes you were in and what characters you. It turns out you play my absolute favorite character in Witchblade, Maria.
Really?
Which I'm.
Everybody hates her. I'm so glad you like her.
And my ex and me got into a big argument one time because I liked Maria so much, and he's like, "Why? She's a capital B."
She is.
And I was like, but it's an inner me.
I like this.
And he's like, then why am I with you?
I love that character. Okay, if you haven't seen the Witchblade anime, it's based off of the comic book, and it's super, super cool. But my character is created solely to terrorize Witchblade, and she is like has this body of like an athlete, but then she's got the mind of a petulant 12-year-old. So everything is no, I don't want to, and like fighting and screaming and throwing temper tantrums, and so she's really, really cool that she's got this kind of double-sided thing, but everybody hates her because they're like, she's so annoying. I'm like, that's the point, y'all.
Was she in the comic book?
No, she was not.
Okay,
Everybody,
I was gonna say I don't remember that.
yeah, they take it into a different world, kind of. So that was their kind of shit.
I'm actually still trying to put a Maria cosplay together.
So cool. If you do, you have to like take me pictures.
All right, we're gonna do in black right next to the Jawa, and then blue next.
Well, I have two characters that everyone says they either love or they hate. One is Shiro from Dead in Wonderland. I absolutely love her.
I love Shiro.
A lot of people hate me because I love this character. Mina Tepish from Dancing with Vampires.
I love Mina. That show is so good. And you know what's really, really interesting is, you know, when you start doing this long enough, you start becoming familiar with some of the Japanese seiyuu. And so the seiyuu for Mina Tepish is, I'm gonna murder her name. It's a really great voice actress from Japan, and I don't want to butcher her name. But she is also the voice actress for Cruel Tepish, which we share that together. She's also the voice actress for Tsuyu Asui, we share that together. She's also the voice actress for Tanya in Saga of Tanya the Evil. So now she and I are on like 4 or 5 different characters that sound nothing alike, but it's the two of us. So I'm like, I really want to meet her. Because that's so weird. Because none of those characters sound anything alike. I loved Mina. I thought she was awesome. Who doesn't want to be queen of vampires? You know what I mean? She was super cool. And I forgot who you said before.
Shiro.
Oh God, Shiro. Yeah, I love Shiro. Her whole point was to be the comic relief, so that, you know, it wasn't all death and destruction and awful.
I couldn't animate that
Isn't
series
she the
longer.
leader of it
It
all?
was so awesome.
Right? I'm hoping that the problem is people always ask about that. They're like, hey, when is there going to be more? But because it did poorly in Japan, that's what's really hard. Is it's hard to convince the Japanese to make more of something that they don't like over there.
Isn't
Is that why they never
Shiro
gave
the creator of
Super
all
High
the
School
shit?
Club?
Huh?
Is that why they never gave a second season to Oran High School Host Club?
I think Oron, I don't know what the holdup was there. I think they just felt like they finished the story. But don't believe the internet. I always feel bad that people like go on. They're like, hey, there's gonna be a second season more on. I'm like, that's the meanest trick on the internet, y'all. It happens like every
I've been
5
saying
years.
3 times.
See, it happens every 5 years, and poor Caitlin has to be the one to go, no, you guys, there's no second season. I'm sorry. Let me bust all your dreams.
White gentleman blue.
Thank you. So one of your absolute most famous role is Bulma from Dragon Ball. You've been doing her forever. Since the beginning, it must be insane. You know, how does it feel, you know, seeing this character evolve and change with, you know, the Dragon Ball series? And
I think what's the most fun is Super, man. Super, and seeing her be an integral part of what's happening. Because, you know, like, she's been a part of everything, and yeah, she'll come up with a cool gadget, and oh, you guys, go save the world, here you go. And granted, her time machine, that was a legit creation that actually did a lot of help and damage. But I will say that what I love about Super is, number one, we get to see more of her relationship with Vegeta.
Okay.
So finally, you get to see like, oh, hey, they actually do kind of like each other sometimes. Maybe not in the way we would think that people should like each other, but they at least get along okay. And then we also get to see her be more of an integral part. I just recorded an episode where she kind of sits the boys down. She goes, okay, do you understand what's happening here? Oh, do I have to explain it for you? Let me explain it for you, boys. And she goes through and explains everything for them, and I'm like, finally! This is what I've been waiting for, is the moment that the girl who is so incredibly smart, that she can just whip up these creations. She's a smart lady, she's a funny lady, she's a rich lady. So it's about time that we got a little bit, just a tiny bit of girl power in there, you know what I mean? Like, let's
more
focus.
empowerment to the character.
Yeah, not just her screaming at her husband all the time.
Yeah, because I feel like with Z, my biggest gripe was like it kind of just like pushed a lot of the OG Dragon Ball characters just like in the background.
Right, and I think that's the thing is that like now everybody's kind of coming into their own and blossoming, and this new storyline is really cool. I think the addition of Whis and Beerus, I really just like them as characters. And so I think it's really, really fun where it's going. I don't know because I'm not watching the Japanese because I like to kind of be surprised as I go along. So I have been spoiled on a few things on Twitter just because that happens. It's Twitter. But I try to just kind of learn as I go along, even though they're like 80 episodes ahead or something like that. Wow. Ridiculous. Yeah, crazy. Ooh, wow.
I'm like you, babe.
Do what? I'm sorry? Oh, getting commercial work? It's a totally different beast. So, like with the anime stuff, I never really set out to do it. I know that sounds weird. I was just an actor, like I did Shakespeare. In fact, I did Shakespeare with Beerus, Jason Douglas, who's also Tobin on The Walking Dead, if you watch that show. He and I were doing Shakespeare together in Houston. Actually, we were doing Shakespeare with Jim Parsons, who plays Sheldon on The Big Bang Theory. How funny, I just thought about he was in that show too. So we were doing Shakespeare together, and he's like, you need to audition for this thing that I'm doing because you sound like a child, and all of these anime are about children saving the world. So here's the number, here's this, go audition. I'm like, I've never done anything like that, dude. But I went and auditioned. Started working for ADD, and then I started doing commercial work, and it was literally people just going, hey, can you come read this copy? Can you come read this spot? Eventually, when I moved to Dallas, I got a commercial agent so that I have somebody that actually books jobs for me. So basically, the difference is that for one, I was able to kind of scooch in there without a demo or anything. Now, of course, it helps to have a demo to get it in the door. But with the commercial stuff, you absolutely have to have a demo. And then you have, auditions constantly. Like Ron can tell you, there's days where I have like 5 and 6 auditions for commercials that I have to do every day. And of the 5 and 6 that you do every day, you might book 1 a month. So yeah, it's really, really rough. But at the same time, I enjoy it. I have a couple of grocery store gigs that I do weekly. If you are ever in Las Vegas or Phoenix or in the other side of the United States, I do some Albertson spots. I do some stuff for Shop and Save up in the Northeast. Really, really not interesting stuff. But that not interesting stuff pays really, really well. Yeah, like it's hard to explain to people because I do the anime because I love it, and the video game stuff pays better than the anime, but it's still not the same. But I have to explain to people who want to be just anime voice actors, I'm like, you guys, let me tell you, I go in for 15 minutes a week, and it's more than the whole week of working like 8-hour days of anime. Like, it's totally worth it. The commercial stuff can be fun too. You can create your own characters. You just have to be a little more creative about it.
I do have a question about the commercial work.
Yeah.
Are you SAG eligible? Are you?
No, we're in Texas, and Texas is right to work.
Oh, like Florida.
So that means that like if you join the union, you're kind of screwed.
You shoot yourself in the foot.
Yeah,
the same thing happens in Florida.
So,
and there's some states that do not allow anybody to work any type of commercial work.
Right.
So like not unlike California or New York, where you have to be a member of the union. So I didn't know how that worked in Texas. Anyway, next question. Come on, folks, it's Monica Rial. Okay, let's start with a young lady with all the way right there. I'm pointing right at you.
Oh gosh, Rize. I hope you guys are all watching Tokyo Ghoul on Toonami. Rize is awesome. So I adapt scripts. I was talking about that a little bit earlier, and Tokyo Ghoul is one of the shows that I got to adapt. And so as I was watching the show and I saw her, I'm like, oh my gosh, what a cool character. Oh gosh, she's so evil and she's so sweet. And then she's evil and sweet. And then she just, I can't spoil anything, but she's really evil. And so when the show came around and it was supposed to be cast, I went to Mike McFarlane, the director, and I'm like, look, dude, I don't ever ask to audition, because they don't normally audition me anymore. They're like, you've been doing this forever, we know what you sound like, which is kind of sad. I want to prove myself still. But they'll just cast me, and so I asked him, I was like, hey, I really want to audition for this show because there's a character that I really, really, really like. And he goes, oh, I was just going to cast you. And so I assumed when he said he was just gonna cast me that he meant for, like, you know, Himari's a little bitty girl. I'm like, oh, she's cute and all, but yeah, I was like, I mean, that's fine, but I really wouldn't mind auditioning. He's like, what? I was gonna cast her as Rize. And I'm like, I screamed, did a little happy dance. I was like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. He goes, is that really the character you wanted? I'm like, yes! She's so awesome! So recording that whole show was just super, super cool because I was constantly just on the microphone, talking like this. And the stuff with, like, Austin and all of the ghoul stuff when she's coming out and creeping out over his shoulder. And it just gives you goosebumps because I had so much fun doing it. And then, like, last week, I guess, or the week before, Snapchat had all these filters, and I was just kind of playing around like you do when you're bored. And there's this one that makes your eyes red. And so I was playing around and I took a picture and I went, oh, I'm Rize! With the purple hair and the red eyes. I was like, I totally just turned myself into Rize and I didn't even mean to. Oops. So stay away, boys.
We're gonna do the gentleman in black, then we're gonna go to Jawa, and then gentleman in the center.
Are we ever gonna get another season of Penny and Stocking? Come on, that ending.
Dude, I would love to. Unfortunately, we have no pull. It's up to the Japanese creators to make more, but man, I would love for there to be more because, yeah, that ending is quite a cliffhanger. And I want to play that. I want to play that. I don't want to spoil anything for anyone, but where that goes, I want to go there. So I assure you that if there is ever any speak of it, I would love to be a part of it. Unfortunately, they were really, really mean at the end of last year, and they were like, ooh, new panty and stocking stuff. And they were like, it's not a pachinko machine. I'm like, they're like, it's a cafe. They're having a cafe, I guess, in Akihabara, which is a panty and stocking themed cafe, which is great for them. Not so much for us, unless you're planning a trip to Akihabara.
Or they happen to invite you.
Yeah, if they want to invite me over, I'll go curse out some Japanese people. Here are your effing pancakes back. But I would absolutely love for there to be a season two. But what I am really proud of with Panty and Stocking, and I think it's funny that it's this show of all of them, is that apparently Gainax was so impressed with our dub that when they did the Blu-ray release, they actually included our dub on the Japanese Blu-ray release. So now I get to say that I am in the homes of millions of Japanese people. It's also about the time I started getting really Google translated emails of like, Panty and Stocking good. I'm like, okay, sweet, you must be Japanese. And a lot of people are using it to learn English. Probably not the best idea.
Yeah, some words don't translate very well.
Yeah, some of those words don't translate very well.
Jawa, and then the gentleman in the center.
So mine's sort of like a two-part question.
Sure.
Part one is, have you ever been given a role or a character or a script to read, and you just kind of look it over and just go, nah, this is just not for me? Or the other part is, have you ever been trying out for a character that you really wanted and didn't make it?
Oh, good questions. The first answer, no. I'm what you call an anime harlot. Which basically means they go, do you want this part? Do you want this part? Yes. Do you want this part? Yes. What about this part? Yes. Because here's the thing, is like if you only only pick the parts that you think you want, you'll be very limited on what you actually get to do. I found that by keeping my options open and wide, that I've gotten to play parts that I didn't think that I would like, and that I ended up loving. So it's always good. I'm kind of one of those yes and people, like, sure, I will do that. Yeah, I'll do that. And if I hate it, I won't ever do it again, but I'm gonna try it once, and then we'll see. As far as not getting a role that I wanted, the only ones I can think of are, like, of course I would have loved to have been a part of the new Sailor Moon redub, but that went to LA. You know, so it's like, man, that would have been really, really cool. They wouldn't have cast me as the sailor that I wanted to be anyway, because I love Sailor Mercury, but I'd probably end up being Chibi-Usa or something, which is great. But yeah, I was sad when I went to LA. I was like, man, I had a Sailor Mercury doll. That would have been really cool. But most of the time now, I try not to know much about what's coming out because I don't want to get attached and then not get the role that I want, because that would be sad. That'd be very sad.
Thank you.
All right, gentlemen in the center.
Okay, so I know you've gone to like a lot of animes, and you have seen people obviously wearing costumes from characters you've played.
Yes.
If you could have someone make a costume of one of your characters you've played, including say sci-fi, so it would actually be real, that actually work, which character's costume would you like to have made for you?
Wait, for me to wear?
Yeah, because obviously you've seen other people wear costumes from characters you've played, but if you could have one tailor-made just for you, which character would it be?
Right now, it'd be the Saga of Tanya the Evil. I want that Tanya outfit, and I also want that jetpack. So if you're gonna make me cosplay of Tanya the Evil, it better be able to make me fly.
By the way, Ron approves.
Huh?
Ron approves.
Ron approves? Yeah. I figured Ron would be like Michiko. Make her a Michiko cosplay. The shorter the shorts, the better. That's one of his favorite voices. But yeah, I'd say Tanya right now, because that would be fun.
All right, we're gonna do this. We're gonna do black. We're gonna go back all the way to the end here. This young lady in black, and then
You're
Sonic.
so organized.
Oh, I'm on it. Yes, you, sir.
I'm like 99.99% sure the show is completely dead, but I'm just assuming we're never going to see anything more with Rosario Vampire Armor.
I don't know that there is anything more to see. Like, I don't think the Japanese creators created anything more.
I looked it up and it said that Gonzo went like completely out of business and they were the ones making it. And
Yeah.
I just didn't know if maybe you heard anything through the grapevine that maybe one day we could see more. Because the show it's one of those that starts out like really kind of very flat and one-dimensional, and then it's like if you read the manga, we got to the point at the end of the show right as the characters started getting complex and really being interesting, and all of a sudden that big reveal at the end, and it was just like, oh my god, this show's amazing now. And they're like, haha, we're done.
Unfortunately, Japan likes to do that a lot. That's kind of their MO now. They're like, oh, you like that? You like that? Oh, it's over. Have fun with that. And sometimes anime are just one big advertisement for the manga. So like, oh, you dig this? Read. Pick up a book, yo. So that's the thing, is that sometimes that just happens. It is sad, of course, with Gonzo going under, and the other studio that did Gangsta just went under. Like, there's a couple of them that have gone under, which sucks. You guys, please, 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 if you love an anime, buy a disc, because all of the creators get money from that. It's not just us. It's not just the American side. The Japanese side get money from that too. So please support legally, because that's why these guys are falling, is because there's these sites from Germany, like Kiss Anime and all those guys are like, hey, we're gonna drive our sports cars on the Autobahn, and the wind blowing through our hair, and we don't care if Japanese companies go under. Watch anime for free on us in Germany. So yeah, screw them. That's how I envision them. They're probably just a bunch of dudes in a room somewhere, but I envision them on the Autobahn. But yeah, so
fancy cars.
Yeah, fancy cars, very German. But yeah, so it's rough because you see studios going under, and that's never fun.
If we don't buy the discs but just watch it on Funimation, are we still contributing to the fall?
That's a good question. The streaming does help, especially now since everything's kind of moving towards streaming more so than purchasing discs. But if it's like a show like, say, Fairy Tail, and it's ongoing, well, now it's finished. But when Fairy Tail was first starting out, what I would tell people is like, hey, if you like this show, buy a physical disc. Because as much as the streaming numbers help, what really is the numbers that they keep track of are the disc sales. They want to know how many people bought the disc.
seems kind of like an antiquated way to do that nowadays.
I'm sure they're working on something else, but as far as I know in my talks with the marketing department, like, for now, that's still what they do. They're having to, like, get with the new technology faster than anybody ever thought they'd have to, because all this streaming stuff is so new and it's taking over so fast.
And all the cable companies just got nailed with all these new streaming services, and they're all trying to scramble to figure out what's the
And now you got Amazon and Hulu that are like, oh, we can do anime too, watch. It's like, geez, don't flood the market, you guys. It's already pretty flooded. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see, but I haven't heard anything about more. I'd certainly love for there to be more of that one too. Who is next? I don't have his list.
At the end.
Hey there, Monica. I actually met you a few years ago at a convention all the way in Las Cruces.
Oh, wow, yeah! Anime Days!
Oh, Las Cruces Anime Days.
Yeah!
Anyway, my question is, how exactly did you get into ADR, script writing, and all of that?
The script writing was kind of an accident. This whole thing is kind of an accident. So I'm going to tell you guys, whatever mode you think you're going to do in life, keep your options open, because you never know where life is going to take you. I certainly didn't expect to be on a stage 18 years later talking to people about anime, that's for sure. So basically, I was working on a show with David Williams, who's one of the directors, and he was starting a new show called DN Angel. And he was complaining because the scripts were really, really bad. And he's like, I don't know what to do. We're gonna have to find a new writer. And I just kind of opened my big fat mouth and I was like, hey, I'll do it. Yeah. I took script writing in college. I'll totally do it.
No, this is how it happened. You know, we sure need a writer.
I'll do it. Give it to me. Totally how it happened. It's like the guy from the State Farm commercial. Oh, you want it with the fishing line. So he was like, hey, this is really bad. I'm like, hey, can I give it a shot? I used a pseudonym because I was really worried it was going to be really bad. And then he taught me. So I would write stuff and then he'd be like, hey, this line is too short. This line is too long. This one is nothing. This isn't what the translation meant. This is what the translation meant. So he really taught me a lot. And then I worked for ADV for a long time. And then my first script for Funimation was one of the many episodes of the first Full Metal Alchemist series. And then from there I started working and did Oron High School Host Club, Prince of Stride, like so many different shows that I've adapted now. But I kind of fell into it. And it's one of those things that kind of like voice acting for ADR too. If you're good at it, you're really good at it. Like you get it, something clicks and it all just kind of happens. If you're not good at it, you're really not good at it. And so the people that take the writing test a lot of times, they're like, I've met people who are brilliant writers, have all this published work, but then they try to adapt an anime script and it just doesn't make sense to them. And I've had other people who are just voice actors and they're like, I've never written anything in my life, but I'm gonna try. And it works perfectly. So you just never know. It's a weird skill set.
We had the third person was right here in black.
What was your most memorable scene or like moment from filming Black Butler?
Oh gosh, from Black Butler. You know what? My favorite scene in Black Butler isn't even a scene in a show. My favorite commentary I have ever done, if you have watched the discs of Black Butler, I can't remember which episode it is, but we did an entire commentary in character. And so it was me and Ian, who plays Bardroy, and Jason Liebricht, who plays Finny. And we were in this, they locked us in a booth. And so the whole time we pretended that, oh, why am I in this box? What's happening? Oh, look, what is this screen, this light that's coming? Oh, is that me? Oh, look at you, Bardroy, aren't you handsome? What's happening? I don't like this anymore. And so it was literally us in character talking about what was happening on screen, and then Tatum came in at the very end for his Butler line. That was one of my favorite things ever, just because we've never been able to do a commentary like that. It was totally just us ad-libbing for an entire episode talking about what was happening on screen, and I loved it.
Why is that not in every anime?
It should be every anime, right?
I would buy the discs.
You should tell Colleen that. Tweet Colleen, because she does some of the extras.
There was Sonic.
Okay.
Sonic!
So, since you voiced Tanya from Saga of Tanya the Evil, and since I'm cosplaying as Sonic, who would win in a fight? Tanya from Saga of Tanya the Evil or Shadow
Batman
from Sonic the Hedgehog?
Really?
You'll find a way.
Who has Being X on their side? Obviously, just is Shadow all on Being X's side and all that?
No.
Okay, good. Well, because Tanya's still gonna win. Sorry, Sonic.
All right, we have all the way in the back, the gentleman in the green cap. Yes?
I don't know. I know it exists, and I know it's out there, and I know that it will be dubbed, but I don't know when. Sorry, you guys, they don't tell us all the really cool stuff. They just go, hey, this thing might happen, and then you guys go, when is it happening? And we go, I don't know. They don't tell me the important things. But definitely check Funimation.com. Funimation's Twitter is really good about letting you know.
Yes, miss?
What was it like working on Ghost Stories? Because that version dub was pretty wild.
I love that every panel I go to, somebody asks me about Ghost Stories. It makes me so happy. So when for those of you that don't know what Ghost Stories is a show that did not do very well in Japan. So when we got the rights to it at ADB, ADB was like, hey, can we do whatever we want with this show? They're like, yeah, do whatever you want. We don't care. We just want to make our money back because this one failed pretty badly. So we kept the names of the characters and then changed everything else. We had a translation, we just didn't really use it. It was like, hey.
So it all of a sudden went from anime to mystery science theater?
Oh, it was just its own beat. I mean, we kept a story.
Yeah.
It just was not the story that started.
Okay, I get
So,
it.
for instance, my character in the original is a psychic. So we turned her into a born-again Christian so that she could be very devout. So then the little nerd boy was, a little nerdy guy in Japanese, and we turned him into the Jewish boy so that they could fight back and forth about, So yeah, it became very foul. We call it the equal opportunity offender, because if you're ever offended by anything, this show will offend you. But what's funny about it is that when it first came out, this was 10, 11 years ago, maybe 12 years ago, and everybody was mad. Everybody was really mad. They're like, how dare you desecrate the original Japanese? And we're like, we didn't touch the original Japanese, yo. The original Japanese track is still there. It's this thing called a DVD. You can watch it in Japanese. We just gave you this really funny dub that has nothing to do with the Japanese on the same disc. So you got 2 for 1, and it didn't matter how you put it. Everybody's like, no, you will burn in hell. And I mean, we got bomb threats at ADB. We got death threats at conventions. The first time Greg Ayers and I went to a con, you guys, it was hilarious. I'm glad I can laugh about it now. We went out, it was at Otakon, one of the big anime conventions. We go out to premiere Ghost Stories, and we're like, and now Ghost Stories! And everybody in the audience is like, boo! Get off the stage! You're awful! Japanese is awesome! You guys suck! And we just went, okay. You guys still have to watch it anyway because you're in here. So we watched it, and everybody hated it, and half the people left. But the 3 people that stayed in the room were like, "That was funny, man." Those 3 people have since talked about it and talked about it and talked about it, so that now it doesn't matter where I go in the world. I go to Australia, and one of the first questions asked is, what's Ghost Stories about? How'd that happen? Which makes me so happy, because now I think back to all those people that laughed at us at Otakon, and I'm like, who's laughing now, yo? That's on YouTube with over 10 million views. But I mean, that's what was so funny, is because back in the day, people were so very if you don't touch the Japanese, and we're like, we didn't touch the Japanese, yo. But DVDs were also kind of a relatively new thing, and I don't think people quite understood,
There's
hey.
a button.
Yeah, there's a button.
Yeah.
You don't, it's not like the back in the day where you bought a VHS and you had to buy English or Japanese. You get both. So we all looked at it as this is a happy coincidence. You can watch it in Japanese in its original form, and you get this crazy dub. But everybody else is like, no. So I love now I love talking about it. I'm like, yes. Have you accepted Jesus as your personal Lord and Savior? That's what I like.
All the way in the back, gentleman, the jacket, and then back to the front.
Hey. Oh, Bulma. Okay, so Bulma. I started with Bulma in 2010. Yeah, I started in 2010 with Kai. And so what ended up, I don't know why that happened. We're not gonna ask any questions. I just know that I went in and auditioned and I got the role. I don't know what happened to the person that did it before me. However, I do know that I was a huge, I had watched Dragon Ball for years because my brother was a huge fan. And the Spanish dub of Dragon Ball came out way before the English dub of Dragon Ball. And my family lives in Spain. So we would go visit my family in Spain, and my brother doesn't speak very good Spanish, so I would have to translate all of Dragon Ball Z for my brother. So I played Piccolo, I played Vegeta, I played everybody in my abuela's living room. So then fast forward a few years, and of course they started working on it at Funimation, but I didn't start working at Funimation until way after they had began. Then fast forward to 2010, and Kai comes out, and Sabat was like, hey,
Monica, I need you to come in and audition for something.
All right, whatever, dude, I'll come in and audition. So I went in to audition, and Bulma comes up, and I was like, what? He goes, yeah, I'm gonna have you audition for Bulma. I'm like, oh, okay. And I remember texting my brother and being like, dude, you cannot say anything, but you're not gonna believe what just happened. And he threw a fit, and I felt like, I was like, oh God, I hope I get it, because now for my brother's sake.
Well, yeah, no, you set the bar high there.
So then when he called me back and he's like, yeah, you're totally gonna be Bulma, I texted my brother and he's like, freaking out. I mean, I went so far as to buy him like Dragon Ball Z bedding back in the day. Like he had a comforter set that had all, I know, it's pretty sweet. So when I originally started, I wanted to pay homage to previous Bulma. So I tried to kind of match, in Kai, especially if you listen to the beginning of Kai, I tried to kind of match her tone a little bit. My goal was so that nobody knew that the voice changed, and luckily that worked out pretty well because I matched her in the very beginning. As we went through Kai, and especially with the new movies and with Super, I tried to make it more my own. You know what I mean? Like, because from here on out, like it or not, y'all are stuck with me. So I tried to make the transition as easy as possible without calling attention to it, but at the same time, I don't want to just perform a character the way somebody else did it just because. I want to make sure that I give her her own light in my eyes, you know, put myself into that character as well. So that's how that happened. And now here I am today.
All right, so we got 5 minutes, so we're gonna go ahead and do rapid fire.
Yes, I will
rapid
make
fire.
it as fast as possible.
Let's start with one. People that haven't. Let's do. Oh, gentleman in pink.
Yes.
What do you think of Anna's Pumanetta?
Oh God, I love her. I love her so much. I want to make character cards with Anna's face on it and glittery substances all around it.
All right, gentleman in black.
What's your favorite episode of Panty and Stocking?
My favorite episode of Panty and Stocking is In a Room, when it's just the two of them in a room and all the craziness that they get up to. That and Transformers.
I love Transformers.
All right, young lady in black jacket.
What was your reaction to episode 10 of Yuri on Ice?
Which one was it? Oh, see, here's the thing that sucks. I'm Mila. I come in every 10 episodes and go, hey Yuri, I'm going to lift you in the air, and then I leave. So I don't even remember what happened in episode 10.
The engagement.
Oh, I wasn't there for that. Sorry. Okay, I'm gonna watch Yuri on Ice. I just haven't had a chance to do it yet. It's on my to-do list. Trust me, I have 2 twins that live in my garage apartment, and they're very angry that we haven't watched it yet.
All right, the gentleman with the gray gloves.
How much of a hand do you have in writing Panty and Stocking?
That was totally Jamie Markey, and she was awesome at it.
Yes, she is.
She's 100% awesome at it, so yeah. Yes.
Black.
How much money would we have to crowdfund to get an all Monica Rial version of Dragon Ball Z?
Yeah, you can do all of them.
I might have
in
to do
Spanish.
it. In Spanish.
In Spanish.
I do Spanish and English. I might have to do that someday just to see. Also to show Chris that his job is never safe.
Real
I was
DTC.
wondering what your reaction was to episode 7 of Yuri on Ice.
Which one? Oh, you guys haven't watched it yet. I literally, okay, here's what happens when you go to record anime. You go in for your scene and then you leave. So for Mila, I think I was there for all of 30 minutes. Seriously. I love her, and she's got the best anime hair next to Mei Chang. But I haven't watched it yet, so I'll let you know when I do.
Pink.
Was there ever a character that kind of emotionally drained you, or saying goodbye to them was especially hard? Like a character that you were just like, oh, I can't, that's horrible. When you...
Tanya was hard to say goodbye to. Joe from Burst Angel was really hard to say goodbye to. Michiko and Hanshin. There's a long list. Bulma, I have to take a nap. afterwards. Like, it's so exhausting to be that high energy and match all those flaps. So I feel like an old lady because I go in the studio and yell at people and then I have to take a nap. Get on the damn lawn.
Jawa.
Do you, how do you think you would react if you ever had a husband that was like Vegeta?
I kind of do.
Everybody meet Ron. Come on, Ron. Step on up. Take a bow.
He doesn't quite have the hair, but yeah, he's working on it. He always goes, "Why do people even like Goku?" So yeah, I kind of deal with that every day.
All right, at the end.
Real quick. You know Spanish? How well do you know it?
Sí, yo puedo hablar español perfectamente, pero yo soy de España, por eso mi español es un poco diferente que tú.
Castilian.
Yeah, I have a Castilian accent, which
Yeah.
means I can't do any commercials in Texas because they don't want people to say gracias. They want people to say gracias. O corazón. You can't say corazón. You just say corazón. People make fun of my lisp all the time. I'm like, it's an accent and it's beautiful. Step off. Well, thank you guys so much. This has been super, super fun. I promise I'll watch Yuri on Ice. It's on the list. And yeah, you guys stay tuned. The season starts up for Funimation soon, so we'll have a whole bunch of big announcements coming out the next few weeks, so keep tuned. No, I'm done for tonight, and I have to run to go write more anime. But tomorrow, I will be at the table at 1.
Yes.
So come see me at my table at 1, and then Austin and I have a Tokyo Ghoul panel at, I believe, 3. So come see us tomorrow.
All right, one more time, ladies and gentlemen, let's give it up to our special panelist, Monica Rial.
Sorry I still told you guys.
We cleaned it up. Our crew is very crafty and handy. Thank you, guys. Stay tuned. We're going to be doing, we have a musical guest whose name escapes me now that I put myself on the spot.